Hey Melon, it's guys here. We are back with more Death Battle. We're on OMNIMAN versus Bardock, which is very interesting that they brought a Bardock out of all Dragon Ball characters. I mean, like, the only time we see him is when he shows up for a movie or whatever, or special, and then dies right after. So, like, I feel like they had to bring him out. Don't get me wrong, Bardock's mad cool, but, like, I feel like they had to bring him out because, you know, Goku would have destroyed Omni-Man. Yeah, because, like, why wouldn't it be Omni-Man versus Goku? Yeah. So I guess I gotta continue on. I don't really know what I'm going to see. I don't know who's gonna win, so let's just keep watching. I guess Omni-Man I would probably win, maybe, because, like, he is still pretty OP, and Bardock is, like, not like the strongest, is he? Like, you know, right? Like, I'm just, like, thinking back to that one special we had with Bardock, right? And I'm like, you know, like, he couldn't defeat Frieza. So trying to think of, like, levels wise, I don't even know at this point. I'm just gonna keep watching. So I'm gonna put my bets on Omni-Man, I guess. I don't know. Let me see.
Omni-Man versus Bardock,
the ostracized Viltrumite and the doomed Saiyan.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Omni-Man, Earth's once greatest hero. Alongside the Guardians of the Globe, he protected the world from all manner of threats. And then, in a single day,
For now.
it all went horribly wrong.
Why Omni-Man? How Omni-Man? Who Omni-Man?
Who indeed?
That's Omni-Man.
Champion of Earth, best-selling author J.K. Simmons, yet it was all a charade. With his murderous rampage only
Serial
brought to a
murderer.
halt thanks to his own son.
It all
Massacred.
starts with his home planet, Viltrum, which I hear is a totally lovely utopia.
Through
Oh, yeah?
brutal mortal combat.
With a K! Or, wait, no, that came later.
Viltrumites are among the
What?
most powerful beings in the universe, even more so after they purge the weaker members of their species. As a vanguard of the
Like
Viltrumite Empire,
Mark Debbie writing. Oh yeah, he likes writing books and bugs. Yeah, he likes bugs, all right. God,
Omni-Man infiltrated
damn,
Earth
that's
as
so
Nolan
funny though.
Grayson, expected to prepare the planet for Imperial assimilation.
Which should have been easy, since he's got your classic strongman superpowers and he's basically invulnerable, easily knocking around asteroids the size of Texas.
He can fly at unbelievable speeds, soaring from Earth to the planet Thraxa in under 1 week. Thraxa is, quote, a couple galaxies away, give or take, so a minimum of 2 galaxies. Beyond the Milky Way's neighbor Andromeda is the lesser-known Triangulum Galaxy, which is over 2.7 million light-years away. Reaching it in under 1 week means Omni-Man must have flown over 142 million times faster than light.
Oh, and Viltrumites can't breathe in space, so he held his breath the whole way. And it's not like he was in a rush. He was on a soul-searching trip, contemplating the significance of smashing his own son's face in. Think, Nolan, think.
Yeah, this is why I'm never having kids.
You're missing out. But according to another Viltrumite, Thetis, a bunch of other Viltrumites who actually were in a hurry flew to Viltrum across the Virgo supercluster in less than 24 hours.
That's over 20 billion times faster than light.
You don't really need to rush anyway. The older a Viltrumite gets, the slower they age.
According to the Invincible Handbook, Nolan is over 2,000 years old. And regardless of age, Viltrumites
Wow.
don't suffer muscle fatigue like humans do, so they rarely ever tire out.
Seriously? He's got parenting
That is
easy mode on,
true.
and he couldn't even handle that. I would have
Is that
killed for
true?
that back when my daughter was born.
Well, you
Well,
would have
like,
to be a Viltrumite.
if they get beaten down, like, you can see them get, like, tired. But yeah.
First, a Viltrumite's body contains smart atoms, which they subconsciously manipulate. This cellular structure can effectively recall certain states of being regardless of their present environment, reacting to changes at an atomic level to perform the impossible.
Yeah, like surviving your intestines getting ripped out, or even more scary, ripping out your whole beard all at once. Ugh. Only a Viltrumite could pull off something that disturbing.
Here I thought it
Nolan is
was like
incredibly tough,
like
but
it
if
was
he
just a
faces
fake
superior
beard.
forces, his smart atoms can adjust to make him even stronger by comparison. This is why Viltrumites are considered invincible.
Most weapons in the universe can't even scratch a Viltrumite like him.
Even a ship's cannon
man.
like this one can't take down a Viltrumite, and it obliterated a massive solar disk nearly half the size of a star.
Speaking of planets, he's strong enough to shatter one by flying straight through it. A planet so big it has a whole ring around it.
The Roche limit factor dictates the size a celestial body must be in order to disperse orbiting material as a ring. In short, an Earth-sized planet can't support such a ring, meaning this one must be much larger.
And don't get me started on how the ring is actually made up of dead bodies because, spoilers? Just go read the comic.
If Roche isn't doing it for you, this planet also supports 5 moons in its orbit, and even the smallest is a perfect sphere, meaning its own gravity shaped it. At minimum, a moon like that must have a diameter of 600 kilometers, or 370 miles. Comparing this to the planet's diameter, we can tell this world is nearly 14 times larger than Earth.
Or it was before, you know, kablam.
Now, Omniman does have his weaknesses. Monsters like Ragnar's can pierce Viltrumite flesh, and he's extremely sensitive to a specific high-pitched frequency, which can destabilize his body's equilibrium.
But his real weakness turned out to be, you guessed it, fatherhood. Thanks to his son Mark, Nolan began to re-examine his perspective and his place in the universe. He settled down in a new place, got himself a new job, and even had a new kid with his new wife, who's a bug. The bug lady, he banged a bug.
Why?
He
Omni-Man? How? Omni-Man?
Hey, everyone
In
deals
front
with
of-
parenting
in front
stress
of
in their
his
own
son.
way. When Nolan was
I
lecturing
can't.
to Mark about how insignificant people are, Mark wasn't the only one he was trying to convince, if you catch my drift.
Nolan Grayson's
think I
real
missed my
mission
wife.
isn't planetary conquest or saving the innocent. It's to discover if a violent man who can break the world can also be a good father.
Godspeed, Omni-Man.
In the far reaches of the cosmos laid a world with a people like no other, born and raised to do just one thing.
I saw that picture, that image for a second. I'm like, wait a second, this looks familiar. And I'm like, oh yeah,
A proud
Dragon
warrior
Ball.
people from the planet Vegeta, ruled by,
King Vegeta.
Well, Narcissus Punch.
Exactly.
And his
Their
son,
pride blinded them to
Prince
the truth of their
Vegeta.
impending doom. But perhaps one Saiyan represented the best of them, even during their waning glory days.
Bardock. He's cool, he's crude, he's got a bad attitude, and if he goes apeshit, you're totally screwed. And guess what? He's father of Goku.
Oh wow, I never would have guessed.
Right? What a curveball.
So what does that make Turles?
Who?
Bardock was
fuck
a cold-blooded
cares?
killer, ruthlessly conquering planets in service to the Saiyan's true overseer, Lord Frieza.
They didn't just conquer planets, they wiped out every living thing, leaving Frieza
Rock's a sick
uninhabited rocks
bandana.
to
He
sell
does.
away. Bardock was an asshole. Well, until he wasn't.
Bardock's story has evolved over the years, with multiple iterations to draw.
Okay, so I know Gine is actually Goku's mom. Like, I really wish they kind of animated like a I don't know, like a small short like of Goku's mom's life story. I felt like that would have been so interesting.
Including one where he's a brilliant scientist.
But only one is considered officially canon. Bardock's demeanor began to shift when he met and eventually married fellow warrior Gine, and had 2 sons, Raditz and Kakarot.
No, Bardock didn't go totally soft. He was still a ruthless warrior. You know that iconic red headband of his? It's stained with the
there was
blood
another
of his fallen
Bardock
friends.
movie.
Hardcore.
Bardock could fly, move faster than light,
I don't
and was
remember
naturally
anything.
adept in using his ki as an explosive weapon.
AKA shooting lasers from his hands. True to
So I do know that technically the Bardock special was actually not really done by Toriyama at all. It was just kind of like a thing that whatchamacallit, the producers made. But then I heard that Toriyama actually liked how the special, if I'm correct, and he said that like that's officially canon.
was brutal. Screw you,
Did I just
nature.
make that up?
Bardock's moves are all about overwhelming power. His final spirit cannon is like a key-powered bazooka. His rebellion hammer
Super
punch ignites
Saiyan.
enemies on contact, and his rebellion spear basically turns him into a supercharged battering ram. The guy has no chill. He will run you over, break your spine, light you on fire, and then move on to the next guy. All in a day's work for a Saiyan.
Marriage didn't change that. While Bardock cared
Right.
for Guinea, in fact being one of few Saiyans of his time to actually have a romantic partner, he was still no family man. Like most Saiyans, he saw his sons as nothing more than future soldiers.
Bardock was a low-class warrior, so it was unlikely his kids would grow up to be anything more than battlefield fodder.
But they would still possess the Saiyans' power, a transformation that was the key to their planetary devastation.
Big Monkey!
Under the light of a full moon, a Saiyan with a tail manifests the Uzaru.
This great ape form increases Bardock's power tenfold, turning him into an unstoppable kaiju. Quick, someone call Yajirobe!
While some Saiyans can maintain control over this berserker form, low-class warriors like Bardock don't receive the same level of training as those of higher birth. Prince Vegeta's control is so precise he can speak while changed, but Bardock cannot.
Hell, it's questionable if he even remembers everything that happens when he goes full tilt gorilla. The Saiyan strategy is pretty much just monkey see, monkey smash.
Despite being low-class, Bardock's power level nearly matched that of King Vegeta, who could destroy multiple planets at once. At about this time, King Vegeta's power level was around 10,000.
Yeah, we know power levels are kinda janky. Nobody can agree on what the number really means.
Outside of his fight with Gas, Bardock doesn't really show any high-end feats in canon, but we can use power levels to compare him to other characters with similar levels to better understand his potential.
Like when his son fought Prince Vegeta. What's the scouter say about his power level?
Oh my
It's over 8,000.
Yeah,
the dub
yeah,
changed it to
yeah.
fit Vegeta's lip flaps, but we only cover the cold hard truth, damn it.
According to this movie pamphlet, Goku's power level between his fight with Vegeta and his trip to Namek was 10,000. This lines up with that previous reading and puts him on par with Bardock. Goku's training during the trip eventually raised him to 90,000 upon arrival, but this gives us a clear window.
Yeah, early in the trip, he had to dodge a bunch of incoming asteroids and blast his ship away from a star, which is impressive considering the speed involved.
The planet Namek is outside Earth's quadrant of the universe, and
I
it
don't
took the
remember
ship
that at
6
all.
days to make the journey. Traveling a quarter
again,
of the
I
universe's
watched Kai.
diameter would put the ship over 9.5 trillion times the speed of light.
And Goku would have had to keep up with that kind of speed to do all that other stuff.
Makes sense
Whoa.
given far weaker characters could reach the moon in a fraction of a second. Should be trivial enough for Bardock.
All this speed and power meant when Bardock and his team assaulted the planet Cereal, they went, cheerio!
Bardock ravaged the planet, annihilating its people, until he found 2 survivors, a mother and her child. Some may call it weakness, others a moment of clarity, but Bardock was suddenly reminded of his wife and recently born son. He chose to spare the 2, and even pushed himself far past his limits to protect them from his own Frieza Force allies, who taunted that Frieza had dire plans for the Saiyans' future.
This
Yes.
moment changed
Yes.
Bardock, making him more appreciative of his family and cautious of Frieza. When all the Saiyans were called back to Planet Vegeta for mysterious reasons, he had a hunch something was up. So, before his final stand, smashing through hundreds of soldiers before coming face to
sent
face
his
with
son?
the tyrant, he sent his youngest kid away for protection. A choice that allowed his son to thrive. And hey, that's what good parents do.
A choice that would have a greater significance than Bardock could ever imagine.
And
Yeah,
then
he
Dildo
gets
Dickhead blew them all up and he died.
He did get his. He did
Or
avenge him.
did he? Bardock got killed so freaking hard he got blasted back in time.
Actually, he was pulled away by these 2 who miscalculated and misplaced him incorrectly in the time stream.
What?
Blah, 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 non-canon, whatever.
Okay,
he
okay.
survived. And when he
I
realized...
think I saw the Dragon Ball Z abridged movie of this. That's the only time I've seen this movie, so I've definitely seen parts of this movie, but clearly not the original, so I don't really know what's going on in this movie.
Time stream.
Blah, blah, blah,
But
non-canon,
the animation
whatever,
looks great. He looks
survived.
great.
And when he realized what happened, he got so unbelievably pissed off.
Super
he went
Saiyan.
Super Saiyan. What?
All right, this is very much an alternate universe what-if scenario, and it is jarring. But think about it. The Super Saiyan form is not achieved through training alone. It requires dedication, introspection, victory, failure, love,
Yeah.
and loss. Frieza
Yeah.
destroyed the Saiyans because he feared the possibility of the Super Saiyan, a Saiyan with power.
Or you could be like Goten and just like, I don't know, get it out of nowhere kind of thing. Just do a few training in here and there, like.
Frieza destroyed the Saiyans because he feared the
just
possibility
do
of
some
the
training,
Super Saiyan.
right? Goten, what do they call it? Like a Super Saiyan bargain sale? Like, I don't know if Goten did all that.
Dedication, introspection, victory, failure, love, and loss. Frieza destroyed the Saiyans because he feared the possibility of the Super Saiyan, a Saiyan with power that could rival his own. But perhaps Bardock's
and he was
transformation
right.
was more than simply a what if. He had begun to take the very steps his son later would to achieve the form. Perhaps if Frieza had hesitated, even for a moment, his fear would have manifested before him right then and there.
Damn, pour one out for Bardock, who figured out how to be the truest Saiyan right at the end of it all. I know Kakarot would be proud. Hey, shout out to everyone who believed in us during our recent crowdfunding.
And joining you in that support is
Newest Master Fancy
Wow.
and luck for any of these hits.
while adding a touch of
Get the special in the link below.
Okay, so I was thinking maybe possibly Omni-Man, but here's the thing. I think that Bardock, if he's in Super Saiyan, etc., like the Saiyan power, all that jazz, I think, like he's stronger than Omni-Man. He's stronger. He could be, but I think that they were also insinuating that Omni-Man could be faster. Like they were really, you know, explaining how he was like travels to like, I don't know, millennia and all this stuff, light years, and I don't know what they were trying to say. But you know, like he's really damn fast. That's what they're trying to say. So I feel like Omni-Man could possibly be faster than Bardock, but Bardock could be technically stronger than Omni-Man. And if he can't really touch him, then he can't really hit him, then he can't really win. So therefore, Omni-Man would eventually win. That's my bet right now. That's my guess. So yeah, let's continue on.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Great. Another gross bug planet.
This planet isn't anyone's to conquer.
It's only his to conquer, no?
Don't underestimate me!
Just like my son, sticking his nose in places he's not ready for.
My sons would kick his ass!
So true. Oh my god, he even means Raditz, bro. He even means Raditz. That's fucking funny.
Whatever you are, you're an embarrassment.
Oh, triggered. You see, Omni-Man as the father is stronger than the sons, but Bardock as the father is weaker than his sons. Well, at least one of the sons, right? So, interesting.
The real power of a Saiyan.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
You're slow. You're too slow. It got him? Oh wow, it got him. Come on. Nice. His weakness. He's so shook. He's like, what the fuck? Dude, with your own tail, bro. That's kind of disrespectful. Whoa.
No. My
You get-
sons. Lead me. I won't let you take me from my war.
I see what they did there. That voice line, I get it. Damn! Hell yeah.
Your time is up!
You said Saiyan. Remember it.
Shit. What, is your son gonna avenge you too? Damn.
Fuck.
KO! Okay, these Gokus have got to stop picking fights with guys in capes.
Pitting Saiyan
It's not Goku though, okay? It's not Goku. Oh my god. Alright. I do kind of feel okay, listen, a lot of the comments that I've read are saying that they're like don't really favor Dragon Ball at all. And so in a way I like came into this, I'm thinking like Bardock versus Omni-Man. Why Bardock? Like, because I just feel like, yeah, if it was Goku there would be no chance. Now would there be? But I understand kind of why they picked those two, because they're technically fathers of alien warriors' sons who grew up on a warrior planet and are technically aliens, so they're technically, you know, in the same kind of right? So I get that. But in this regard, yeah, like Bardock is weaker than Goku. Like Goku out I don't know, you know, powers him. But at least from what I've seen in Invincible, Omni-Man is stronger than Mark, you know? Like, in a way, like, I don't know. But also, Mark is a half Viltrumite, which, in Saiyan terms, half Saiyan, half Earthling, could actually make you stronger. Actually gives you way more potential. But besides the fact, yeah, I don't know, actually. I have no idea. I just find it interesting that they picked Bardock. I just can't really tell like his power strength because I barely see him. So it's like hard for me to like understand it, even with their like description of Bardock. There really isn't that much of Bardock to really judge off of and compare comparatively to like the Dragon Ball universe, like Goku's strength in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I kind of expected this. I thought it was actually going to be like he was going to be faster than him, but I guess that's not the case. So let's see what the explanation is.
against Viltrumite is fascinating. Among the many similarities, 5 specific categories stand out.
Starting with speed.
Right.
Bardock is much faster, given his power level matched Goku dodging asteroids at 9.5
So I
trillion
was
times
way
light
off.
speed.
I was
much
so
higher
off.
than the Viltrumite's fastest speed. Add on the 50 times multiplier from Super
Oh, I
Saiyan,
was
and
so
it's a
off.
huge difference.
Right, Bardock clearly has the speed advantage, but
I was
strength and
so
durability
off.
are another story.
Though it doesn't seem like it at first, Bardock scales to King Veggie, who wrecked 3 planets at once, and
Yeah.
Omni-Man only smashed 1. But
Yeah.
given how big that one planet was, the numbers are actually pretty similar, until we factor in the Super Saiyan boost, right?
But then,
Well, there's a catch. A major plot point in Invincible involves the coalition of planets admitting that their weapons cannot hurt Viltrumites.
So, when their ship's cannon obliterated this gigantic solar disk, it highlighted just how tough the Viltrumites really are.
This disk completely blocked the sunlight and heat between a planet and its star. And this is no ordinary planet. Its size and density are so high that its inhabitants are as strong as Viltrumites just due to living in its natural gravity. To fully block the light to such a planet and remain in consistent orbit, the disk would need to be positioned at its L1 point, the spot that creates an uninterrupted view between sun and satellite, and the disk itself must be about half the diameter of the star in question. This means the scaling of the disc puts it at 3 septillion tons.
That's 24 zeros.
Which makes Omni-Man over 11,000 times stronger than base Bardock.
Not even the Great Ape or Super Saiyan forms could make up that difference.
Wow.
So strength goes to Nolan.
Still,
I see.
numbers aren't everything. As far as versatility in combat
Versatility?
goes, neither had
Bardock?
one distinct advantage that could win outright.
Omni-Man survives in space for much longer, but Bardock barely squeaks out the edge here thanks to his ranged versatility
yeah, I would
with
say
the
Bardock
attacks
is
and,
more.
of course,
Super Saiyan, Great
Okay,
Ape.
let's address the Super Saiyan Bardock thing. It's perfectly fair to question whether or not the form should be in this comparison at all. However, even with the form included, Nolan still takes this, especially when it comes to our last two categories, experience and stamina.
Yep, Omni-Man's been around a lot longer than Bardock, over 2,000 years, and even with Super Saiyan,
That's true.
Bardock's no master of the form.
And without that mastery,
That's
the form
true.
drains the user's energies at an increased rate.
Yeah,
which
that's
brings us
true.
to what may be Omni-Man's most surprising
Stamina.
advantage.
Those weird
Okay,
smart
that's
atoms.
valid.
Saiyans like Bardock can fight for days on end, but only for so long. Bardock possesses a limited pool of ki, which only depletes faster when using super forms like the Great Ape. In contrast, Omni-Man's biology prevents him from tiring in most cases, letting him travel across whole galaxies for weeks non-stop. And his smart atoms adjust to counter whatever physical strain he's subjected to.
Bardock's crazy speed and power made him a real challenge.
But Nolan's strength, experience, and sheer endurance presented an unstoppable and unshakable force that would inevitably land the killing blow.
When push came to shove, Omni-Man raised the Bardock.
The winner is Omni-Man.
Next time on Death Battle.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, honestly, their explanation is kind of valid, I think, in my opinion. I just feel like, yeah, the experience, him being there for 2,000 years, they said, like, yeah, he got more experience. And then Bardock, wow. I don't know, I think it's crazy. Like, he went Super Saiyan, but it felt like it didn't even mean much. And it's just like, damn, man, that's crazy. But yeah, in a way, he could really just suffocate him in space. But then when you're Super Saiyan, that kind of just didn't work. Did I like him turning Super Saiyan, but he was still in space, wasn't he? Actually, I don't. God damn it. What happened? So he went. Yeah, he was still in space. So that's interesting. But yeah, I guess if we're really talking about the stamina, to be able to fly, like don't get me wrong, like the Saiyans can fly for a very long time too, but sometimes they do take breaks. Actually, yeah, they but I just feel like maybe I'm thinking of Mark, but even Omni-Man, like they get beaten down usually, and like, yeah, no, they can get back up and kind of go for it, can they? That's why I was a little surprised about the stamina thing, because I've just seen them, like, you know, really beat. Well, like Mark, like I'm thinking of like Battle Beast, like he was on the floor. Or like when the Viltrumites were like attacking Mark on the not Mark, Nolan on the bug planet. I guess they injured him so badly that he couldn't really get back up, and that's not have to do with stamina. Okay, so I guess that's really the explanation. It was just hard for me to really picture. But yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, that was a very interesting battle, and it was cool to see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please comment below the next video I should watch, the next death battle. Thank you so much. Melano.